This video was brought to you by Loot Anime. It's everything you love about Loot Crate, but with an anime twist. Every month, you can get a box filled with all kinds of goodies based on your favorite anime. The theme for this month is back to school, so get yourself a box filled with goodies from Assassination Classroom, Fruits Basket, Utena, Digimon Adventure Tri, Danganronpa, and Persona 3. Click the link down below in the video description and use discount code NeoGameSpark to save yourself 10%. What is going on, everybody? My name is NGS and thank you so much for clicking on the video. Back at it again with my resident DC partner in crime, Rottz112. What's going on, Robert?
Not much, man, not much. What is going down, people?
But what we want to talk about today is something that we really got to thinking about, and this was actually something we were going to include in our discussion with Batman Telltale, but we realized this is worthy of an entire topic of its own. And that topic in particular is talking about Batman, or more specifically, DC Warner Brothers' over-reliance of Batman and, to a larger extent, the Bat family.
I dare say even Batman is superseding the Bat family nowadays when it comes to other medias outside of comics.
So how this started off is, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware, the DC extended universe of films is, I guess, trying to take off. And one thing that they've been very persistent on with the past two movies, that being Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and the recent Suicide Squad, they've tried to incorporate as much Batman in it as humanly possible, whether it's a cameo in the sense of Suicide Squad or heck, even an antagonist role with BVS. And it got us thinking about a lot of things. Like, why would DC, they're just getting off the ground with this universe. They want to make sure that they hit every single nail on the head. Why are they throwing all of their cards away and making sure they focus on Batman? He's just one character. What is it about Batman that gets them like saying, okay, listen, everything else is not going according to plan, so we're just going to use Batman? Batman has essentially, for all intents and purposes, become DC/Warner Brothers' crutch, whether it be in video game form, in the live action scene, heck, even, I guess you can say now, in the animated department. It's nothing but Batman. What do you think about this, Rob?
Oh, man, definitely. He is definitely the crutch. And they have put Batman in full perspective. And honestly, in my opinion, I almost feel it's kind of insulting to people's intelligence. It's insulting to your intelligence, man, to the people listening to this, because they believe that they need to have Batman in there to lure you in because you just by default won't look at any other properties. And that's extremely insulting.
If you want to be really crude and crass about it, you look at the name DC, Detective Comics. I mean, where did that start?
Exactly. That even originated under his moniker. I'll go ahead now because I already know there's going to be some bat philosopher typing away in the comment section. We already know Batman draws. We know that. We know he draws money. We know he's one of DC's biggest, if not probably the biggest heavy. He's definitely, even though Superman came first, I'll probably say when it comes to franchise money, Batman has probably passed Superman by now. It almost has to be that occasion now. But this is the thing, though. It's like you can't oversaturate this character so much, because when it runs out, oh man, you won't be able to get it back. We're gonna have another one of those that cold period between the Schumacher movies and the cartoons and stuff, and then Batman's just gonna have to go on ice for a while when that bubble bursts, like a Batman and Robin.
That's a really great analogy when you think about it, because when you look at all of these movies, like, let's take it back to way back when. What character was the first to get his own movie? What character was the first to get his own TV series? What character was the first to do this, this, and this? For the DC scene, it was Batman. It was always Batman. It was Batman and such for his company. You know, it was everything Batman. I mean, what is the one of the few superhero movies that people point to that really, I guess, like reinvented superheroes? It showed them that it wasn't just this comical, campy mess. It was Batman 1989.
Exactly.
It's obvious why DC keeps using this character time in and time out, because he has such a huge staying power. While that's well and good and everything, and I don't like detract that any way, shape, or form from DC and Warner Brothers. Like, they've done a good job over the years of building up the character through various forms of animation, live action movies, video games, what have you. But it also paints a really darker picture for this so-called DC universe as a whole, because no other character in this universe gets even this, like, even a fraction of tender love and care that Batman gets. And that is what I really want to talk about, because more specifically, this applies heavy to the animation department, because I think it was very much it was kind of like an unspoken rule that after Batman the animated series, DC started to get really creative with their animated scene. We had not only Batman get his multiple shows,
Yep.
Superman had his own run,
Uh,
Static Shock, Justice League Unlimited. Like, they did a really good job building up all these other characters.
oh man, that was prime established. That was our generation Super Friends. Like the generation before us had the Super Friends. Yeah. Ours was the Justice League cartoon. Like,
And what was awesome is that the animated movie department, not only did it delve into some of the more darker stories, it also delved into the more obscure characters, like someone like Green Lantern. Of course, you hear Green Lantern, you're like, oh, he's a popular character, but to get his own string of movies, that was great. Wonder Woman got her own movie. That was great. But then after that, things started to slow down. We started to see less and less of these other heroes get films, and it was nothing but Batman. And if it wasn't Batman, it was Batman and Superman. And if it wasn't Batman and Superman,
family,
it was a
exactly.
Bat family film.
What was that movie? Batman Bad Blood. Where they tried to sell you on the whole fact that Bruce was gone, but apparently he wasn't even gone that long. The thing that infuriates me the most is that most of these characters were all established, were all had a train behind them, just like Batman did. But over the time, it's just either they stopped paying that much attention to the rest, which I think is the case, or Batman just genuinely surpassed them. I just think it was a lack of attention to the rest. I mean, I remember back when we were young, like Batman, there were Batman fans, Superman fans, Flash fans, Green Lantern fans, Wonder Woman fans. Even they, well, Super Friends hurt Aquaman for a couple of decades. Just only recently, well, Aquaman was able to come back up, but somebody out there probably liked them. But like, I remember a time where all of them had stock, and now it's strictly Batman, and that's because lack of presentation. Lack of presentation, people. That was it. The Justice League was a show was about everybody, so you had to get connected with everybody. But after that, it was, the Batman, Batman Brave and the Bold, Beware the Batman, all that, and all the animated guy. The pre-New 52 Batman movies, bruh. Come on. Under the Red Hood. The best. I'm sorry. I love Mask of the Phantasm, but Under the Red Hood almost made me cry. I get it. Batman he hits a lot more home runs than misses, but you have a whole franchise, you have a gallery, you have a roster. You have to give them some attention and genuine attention, not just put them make a Flash movie with Batman in it to get people to watch and hope that they suddenly like Flash now. No, you can't do that, man. Something that kind of made me annoyed recently, the Justice League Dark animated movie. And they felt that Batman, and they went ahead and said it now, Batman is going to be the one that we get introduced to magic through his eyes because he's going to be a skeptic and all that. And I'm like, okay, I get the role. but just this once, could it have been somebody else? Shout out to Danny. Danny said it could have been Superman. It could have been Superman actually witnessing, magic. And, magic can harm him, so the stakes would be high. And then the movie could have ended with Superman giving his word to the Justice League that, this Justice League Dark group could be a thing.
What also that's happened a lot on the internet is that there's been this new, I guess, Batman Defense Force going on, which works both against and for Batman. When people are saying that the reason why they're putting Batman in all these situations like Justice League Dark is because Batman is a human. He's someone who is the peak of human potential. He doesn't have these powers. Everything he has is just his brains, his intellect, his human strength, and of course, his billions of dollars saved away. That we're not going to talk about that though.
Yeah, and to quote the kid from Kick Ass, he has all that technology that don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like he for all intents and purposes, when you want to break it down, Batman has superpowers. Now, it's not the traditional ones, but he's got something called prep time, and that is used heavily in his comics, especially recently.
Yep. Oh man, prep time is a dangerous weapon. Yeah. Dangerous weapon. He could just shoot prep time at you. I'm ready.
I'm ready. And in some cases, he uses it through different periods of time, man. That's how deep this shit gets.
Yeah.
That's how deep it gets. But yeah, going back to what Rob was saying, a lot of people are thinking that it's because he's so human and so relatable and real that they can shove him in these situations. But what a lot of people don't understand is that the reason why we love Batman is that, yes, he's relatable, but at the same time, he's just one part of this beloved universe. He's just one part that goes hand in hand with Superman and Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter and the various Green Lanterns. Like, that's the best part about this universe, is that it's not just him, it's everyone. And that's something that I think DC really needs to understand. I mean, people say that they're getting it now because, oh, look, everyone's getting a movie now. Flash is getting a movie. Cyborg is getting a movie. Wonder Woman's getting a movie. But at what cost? Batman having cameos everywhere, Batman building up the Justice League, Batman this, Batman that. It doesn't feel like it's a unity. It feels like he's going and doing all the work.
And let's be real. Batman is going to be in all those movies because they want you to watch it. They want you to see it. Let's be real. It's not some artistic choice of you want to see Batman recruiting. No, they want to put Batman in all these movies because they want to lure you like fish to cheese on a hook. Like they want to lure you to see these movies. Oh man, I don't like the Flash, but I'm gonna go see his movie because they said Batman's gonna be in there, so I wonder what he's gonna do in there. I saw him in Suicide Squad. I'm not feeling Aquaman, but you know what? Batman gonna be in the movie, so I want to see what Batman's gonna do in that movie. And since I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and watch the rest of it. That's how they want to pull you.
And before anybody in the comment section, because I know we're going to get this, we're not saying that Batman inherently is bad. No, Batman has had a ton of great things. The problem is that it's only Batman who's getting all of these things, and that's the biggest issue that I hope y'all take away from this, because the whole reason why we love comics is because the diversity of all these characters and all of them are so different. And, I don't want to be this guy. I know we weren't going to mention the M word, but take a look at Marvel. Marvel started off their universe with a B-lister. A B-lister being Iron Man. Like, they started off with B-listers. I mean, sure, people knew who Captain America was, and they knew about Thor and the Hulk, but really, they didn't know much about them. They are not the powerhouses that they are now. And that's why with the Marvel movies, it's just so much sweeter now, because we've grown with these characters over almost a decade. That's what it's about. That staying power. If you are able to take characters like Guardians of the Galaxy and make it close to $1 billion at the box office, you're doing something right. Why can't we have that for all these other characters in the DC universe? Why couldn't Superman get that?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly. Why could it not be? I mean, I can't even believe we need to explain this, but look at it like this. You see several different types of hero all doing different things. Of course, when you watch what they can do on their own, when they all finally come together, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna mesh, you know. And it's like, and I hate to bring up the M word. I'm doing it for strictly example purposes, but I remember every Marvel movie had like its own tagline, and each tagline summed up that hero. Like Iron Man. Heroes aren't born; they're made. But as opposed to Thor, whereas Ant Man, a hero comes in all sizes. Like that sums up each different person. But when they finally came together, it was lit though. And I would love to see that for DC. I mean, I want to see that so bad, but it's like they're not gonna have their own identity. And I'm quite frankly, I'm disappointed that DC actually let those other franchises fade. These other characters fade. Cause I remember it's not even the Trinity no more, bruh. It's not even the Trinity no more. It's Batman at the top, then Superman and Wonder Woman side by side. It's not Trinity no more.
But then it all makes sense because they've built up so much of a reliance on this character. And
Yeah,
granted, that's because he's had a lot of good things for him in the past, but that's not the issue. The issue is that they could be doing so much more than building up a Batman and Friends universe. That's why, when you see all those memes online, I know not to bring in internet terminology, but when you see all those memes online saying like Justice League, you mean Batman and his superpowered bitches, like there's a reason people made those memes.
there's a reason because you have all these characters that can do all these amazing things, but yet for some reason Batman has to supersede them or just take up most of the time. And I'm sorry, that's a fact. People can try to fight it all they want. It's a fact. They do that. They do that to keep eyes on the product.
It's unfortunate. I mean, if you look at Marvel, bringing them up again in their comics, who are the ones
Oh,
that people gravitate towards? They gravitate towards Spider-Man, they gravitate towards Captain America, they gravitate towards Wolverine, like so many diverse characters in that roster.
bro. I mean, just to jump in on that, the X-Men alone, a lot of people said that the X-Men is like a at the X-Men in the Marvel universe is like a universe within the universe.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
The X-Men lore, like if lo and behold, the X-Men could break off from Marvel and be X-Men, dude. That's how big that lore is. Man, it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking because I know these characters all have stock to their name, and there's ways to build it up. And also, it's like, man, you can have like the other. I mean, treat the Trinity how they should be. You know, share the wealth sometimes. Like I remember when they did that Shazam. I think it was the Return or Rise of Black Adam or something like that. It was Superman and Shazam. I'm like, oh man, that was interesting. You could use like that. Have Superman stretches social legs out there and do something. Or Wonder Woman. Have Wonder Woman like, try to give a pat on the back about something. It's like you can't. I mean, honestly, I know people keep trying to hinge on the past. People live on the past and talk about the Trinity. There is no Trinity now. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's like it's just dawned on me as I said it.
Yeah, man, it's just you don't build stock in these characters. So whenever people are just like, "Oh, who your favorite such and such? Why do you love such and such?" It's kind of heartbreaking that you see people going like, "Oh, I love Rocket Raccoon and Groot and everybody," and I'm just like, 5 years ago, people didn't know who those guys were.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people. I was raised looking at DC, looking at DC as almost like for lack of a better term, like a superhero gateway drug. Where when you grow up, when you grow up, probably by default, you're either gonna love one of the three, if not all three, superheroes. And the first three will be either Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man. They have really simple names. It's names you can say as a baby. I know I had one my 5-year-old cousin now, even when she was 2 or 3, she'll badly say Batman or Spider-Man because they were simple names for her to remember. They had outfits with which she remembered. So I get it. They're simple enough that you could pick them up as a kid. But 9 times out of 10, when that person gets older, they branch off and they may find another hero that vibes with them. When you say that's kind of like the process.
That's exactly the process, you know? It's just, I mean, honestly, because this term is so overused nowadays, representation matters within DC Comics.
Just to further round this out, when you look at not even just the DCEU, but the animated series, the animated movie, it's strictly Batman. That's all they got. Batman and Harley Quinn coming, uh, Justice League Dark Star and Batman, and then you have the whole Arkham video games. I mean, as enjoyable as they were, how hard have people been begging for Rocksteady to now do another year? We still don't even know if the rumor is true about the Superman game or not. It's just, it's just we to sum it up best, I just want them to rebuild that stock that they let fall in the first place because they just wanted to dump everything into Batman. And this will probably be my last standpoint on it. The problem that this is going to have that you almost already see it, and I think it was a big thing with the new 52, is when it kind of goes, this chaos kind of goes hand in hand, where you show so much Batman that the new generation started to only like Batman. And okay, if you like them, that's fine and all that, but you rob them of a chance to experience or see another hero that they may vibe with. And I always wanted that to be my goal, was to try to introduce people to different kinds of heroes. I always wanted to do that because I always been like, you never know who you may end up vibing with. It could be, you could end up vibing with somebody like Plastic Man or or like Moon Knight or maybe Squirrel Girl. There may be or Daredevil, man. It's crazy how many people like jump ship to Daredevil out of nowhere. I mean, now with the Netflix series, but you rob them of their chance to see exactly who they vibe with and not just who is put in their face all the time. And my point I want to make is that when that starts to become a problem, when you do that, and the new generation, the people younger than us, when all they're gonna want is Batman, the people that run these other heroes, they're gonna start thinking, what can we take from Batman and put into these other heroes to get people to watch?
Oh boy, that sounds like a show that we all know.
Oh, exactly. And they did it from a literal sense, but they did it on a literal sense. I'm about to speak from like a spiritual sense, and and what most people do is they take an element from Batman that they think people want, and that's the darkness, the grittiness, and they start pumping it in the other heroes that became great for no reason of that. They pumping in the Superman. How can we make Superman dark? Because we think that's what people want. Because honestly, for people out here, because I know people are gonna shield for it. You may think you want dark superheroes. You're gonna realize when that's all you're surrounded by, just how tired that can be. If you're surrounded by nothing but that, you will get tired of it. So I mean, you gotta have your flavors. If every flavor of ice cream was vanilla, I get tired of vanilla. Majority of the new 52 was that. It was like I said, they Batmanified, that patent pending on that word, Batmanified. They Batmanified most of the DC rock. I mean, bro, I don't even know if you did you see the new 52 Beast Boy.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, he was red, all edgy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like for, but that's what they try to do. And I will leave this statement with that, because if this bat saturation doesn't let up for the younger generation, this is gonna happen. Every superhero is gonna be, or at least every DC hero is gonna be forcefully dark. And think about this, and I'll leave you with this question. If every hero is a dark hero, what is a dark hero?
That's a perfect way to end this video, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is NGS, signing off for Rottz112. What did you guys think about this discussion? Let us know down below in the comments. From me to you for now, I'm NGS, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.